I was asked to do a video on the black pill and the black pill, and at times I've been black pilled. In fact, I go back and forth, and this is why recently I've been listening to more, consuming more information, current information. But the start of this year, I tried to avoid it because it just brings you down, and this constant cycle of feeling good and then demoralized, feeling good then demoralized, pretty much on a daily basis, is draining. It lowers my vibration. I like to be informed, but I'm tired of being angry and mad, depressed. I want to move from where I'm at, and I spent a lot of money on cars. I don't know, man. I spent like $3,000 on cars. I took that in debt too, so not a smart way to do things. But it's kind of like I'm at the point where I just don't give a fuck. I've done everything right, and nothing's changing. And I'm at to the point where I'm never gonna get married again. My kids are almost raised, and I'm still relatively young to work off my debt. My body feels, compared to other men my age, I'm in pretty good shape compared to other men. I'm not in peak condition like I was like 5 years ago. Not even peak, but I'm not in that good of condition like I was. But I'm trying to get back there. And there's not much you can do. You just come. It's good to know what's going on so you can stay informed and prepared. But there's not much you can really do. Like, you can't do much about females being more promiscuous nowadays and that being the norm. Them dressing very provocative. You can't do nothing about that. You can't do really anything about seeing, like, I'm talking about like on a large scale. You can't really do much. Like, for me, I've noticed some like die-hard listeners to my channel, and man, I appreciate you guys. That's pretty much why I still make videos at this point. But it's really easy to get black-pilled with the society. Like, this society is probably one of the most toxic societies in the whole world. We have good things too. I think this is probably like the least racist place in the world as well. The most accepting place in the world. You go to other countries and you see that America is probably like the front runner of accepting the trans community compared to other countries. I don't need to say my stance on that. I think if you listen to my content, you should know where I stand on with them. But it's like, this is probably the most accepting place in the whole damn world, just about. But it's also pretty violent here. Our cities are becoming dilapidated. There's a lot of problems here. And it's really easy to see the devaluation of our dollar, having to work more to continue to have that lifestyle you had. And then if you're a man and a woman, like, women don't feel it yet, but you will. It's coming. We feel it first. You're going to feel it. The loneliness. Like, we feel lonely. I feel lonely at times. And I'm an introvert, man. I'd like to have a partner. But, you know, for me, you know, the Matrix, whatever this is, God, whatever, they don't want to give me a situation that I feel like I need to be in. I've already done enough, man. I've already done enough. Raising my kids basically on my own. I've already done things like helping out. I don't want to talk about her. I've done bad things too in my life, man. I ain't perfect, but I think I've done a lot to overcome the obstacles in my life. And my kids didn't have a perfect upbringing, but I feel they are way better positioned than I was at their age when it comes to emotional well-being. And I think there's a lot of kids nowadays that are not in a good place emotionally well-being, and I was one of them when I was growing up. Let me tell you this. I don't know if any philosopher or anybody already has this quote, but somebody probably already thought of this, but if you cannot control your emotions, you're a slave to your emotions. And it's not like, so we're all human, we're all going to have chinks in our armor. I don't care how strong of a person you are, you're going to, if bad enough things happen to you, you're going to break down emotionally. There's only so much you can take. And if, like, you're in combat and you're trying to move forward, well, and you see your best buddy just, like, get blown up in front of you, you might keep moving forward in that spot because the enemy's attacking you and you're trying to survive, but you're gonna feel later on like it's like I said, it's really easy to get black-pilled, man, with everything going on, dude. There's so many things that I can name off with the economy, with the breakdown of the family, people just only caring about themselves, harder to move up economically. You see what happened in 2020, 2021. Politically, everything's jacked up. The constant wars that we're in, like we're starting or we're getting into. America, you know, you're seeing culture evaporate in front of our eyes. You're seeing, like, when it comes to music, TV, movies, fashion, whatever, it's completely decaying in a really rapid timing. But I think that when I would go on to, like, listen to MGTOW guys or whatever, red pill guys, and I still listen to some of them, you hear a lot of gripes, right? There's a lot of negativity. And it's easier to sell negativity than it is positivity. So especially with the media, they push a lot of negativity. And you get people like me trolling. Like there's a lot of I'm toxic on Twitter. It's a toxic environment. But it's I think that you have to take a step back if you feel black pilled, man, and try to focus on what you can control in your own life. And that's and if that means taking a step back from media, taking some time off from the internet, and trying to get your own, whether the finances in order, maybe that's working an extra job, going to the gym or working out at home, going on a run, whatever you got to do to physically like better your diet. Like I think that diet's huge. I think that diet affects the mood. And realize like all you can do is control what's in your controls. What the problem is this is the toxic. This is our society. This is why it's so toxic, because people are so individualistic and independent of anybody else. There's no family. It's not a good place for a family to raise a family in. Not a good place. When they consume the media and living in cities and going to schools, and when you send your kid to school and they can pick up some like cartoon pornography in the library. I mean, I think that's like why is my money being paid? Why are you taking my money to promote that shit? I would fly off a handle if I found out if my kids came home with something like that. I would be going right down to that school and there would be some massive problem. I'd probably be going to jail, honestly. I'm grateful my kids are older and they're out of school now, so I don't have to worry about that shit. But you just have to like control what's in your, like for me, you know what I mean? It's like I work at these jobs and I don't work hard for the company. I just work hard for the people around me. And you kind of have to have that mindset, because I can't control how the company pays people or what they're doing. I have no control. I have no say so. But I do have say so of my actions and what I do in my personal life. There's where I actually have control. And that's why I made a video the other day. I was talking about how life is boring, because it is boring, man. It's like I feel like I have too much information. I feel like I have too much knowledge in this basic, boring, this average person lifestyle where, you know, it's just I have to live because some of the choices I made in my past, and there is a serious lack of opportunity in my life. And for me, I become black pill a lot because it seems like I'm picked on by the universe, and I hate trying to play like a victim role, but it's like, why does this stupid shit keep happening? I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of trying to turn lemons into lemonade constantly. So it's really easy to get blackpilled by life. You have to like live for something more than just yourself. or other people. That's why people have families and they have kids, because they end up living for someone more than just themselves. Like for me, I bought all those baseball cards and football cards and basketball cards. I mean, for me, it was an investment. It was a cool thing to be able to be like, I have ownership of those, but it's also an investment, man. But so like, if when people are religious and stuff like that, it gives them a sense of a community and like somewhere they belong. Like when you live in a city and you're not like a high value man or whatever, or an attractive female, nobody gives a shit about you. So it's really easy to get down on things. Like my gym, man, I was playing basketball and I do all these like tricks or these handles and shit. Just practice is fun to me. And I'd hit the punching bag, I'd lift weights, I'd run, I'd do a little bit of yoga stretching. And I got no attention. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared. One dude came up to me and asked me like about punching. One dude. Which that was cool, man. But nobody gives a shit. Nobody's impressed. And that's part of the reason I just said I'm not going to the gym, because everyone is the same and I'm not fitting in. I'm not dressing like them. I'm not looking like them. And no one appreciates that. So my ego was constantly being it left me in a bad mood all the time. And you know, when you come out of the gym, you should be feeling good. I never really felt good. And that's part of the reason why I quit. One, I'm paying a bunch of money for nothing. Might be moving. I could do the same workouts I was doing there at home. Anyway, I know this is supposed to be about Black Pill, but I think that, like I said, just try to focus on yourself, man. Try to make your life better. Try to make people you care about around you's lives better. And that's all you can do, because if a nuke drops on us, or you're living in a town like Ohio, Palestine, Ohio, and you have a chemical, you have a major safety violation from the government and the company, and you're kind of stuck in that town, and you have chemicals you're breathing in, you're gonna get cancer. Like, I mean, you have to try to make your situation better, man. And that's what you should try to focus on. If you try to focus on like the world where it's headed, like read the book The Fourth Turning. Like, that's what we're going through. We have created weak men in our society, and the calling is whatever that is that's coming. Calling, and I know that's killing off, but the killing off of weak men, the calling of weak men, is upon us. And that's going to be, taking your medicine. That's going to be hard times. And all this, like, all this stuff, like people living in a bubble where, like, they're working at Facebook and they don't do nothing all day but drink lattes and eat, and they're getting paid six figures. Well, that's not sustainable. Just like all the stuff the mainstream media is trying to put forth is unsustainable. And I know we're being attacked by the elites of the world because they want power. It's constant power change. And like I said, man, like, you know, the people that I'm going for right now, I'm probably going to be their enemy in about 5 to 10 years. Some of them I've already started. To criticize Marjorie Taylor Greene, somebody I really appreciate and respect, because they're going to turn into the establishment. When I was growing up, the Republicans were the tyrants. That's why I was a leftist. I was for freedom of speech. They weren't. They were for censorship. Well, things have turned now. Well, it's going to turn back. And all you can do is try to prepare, man. Try to get in a good community or create one. Man, I should make a video on what I would do if I actually had some money and didn't have to be in this rat race, like these YouTubers that I follow, these influencers who have a lot of money and they sell stuff, but they don't do anything to create a community. But they just sit here on the internet and bitch about things, and you know, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. But when you actually have influence, I have like no influence, man. I got no influence. So it's like, what am I gonna do? I'm like yelling in the forest and nobody's there. So yeah, man, just like try to focus on yourself, dude. That's all you can do. And try to find like, it's really easy to be nihilistic if you start thinking about things and like looking at hypocrisy in religion, and it's really easy to just become like atheist and like there's no reason for me to exist. You just have to figure out a purpose for you, man. Make a purpose. Make something on purpose. Some people, it's like you need to leave a legacy. That's why they have kids. You know, my grandfather just died, and he got like 2 Purple Hearts and a Silver Star. Imagine if he didn't have any kids; those would just go in the dumpster. They would go in a landfill somewhere. You know, so I'm not against having kids. I think in this society it's toxic, but if you can work your ass off and go, maybe find a community here, but probably go out of the country and form a family in another country, I think that'd be good. You know, work for that. Work your ass off to save for that.